So today we're going to talk about the smartphone. How can someone hack my smartphone, and how vulnerable I am with a smartphone in my hand to potential hacker attacks.
Conversation with a Hacker, an interview between Greg and Lewis about privacy, security, and other mysteries. No bullshit.
Cool. All right. Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
So, first thing I would be wondering about is how easy is it for someone with rather high level in hacking to access my phone, control it, basically to hack my phone.
Okay, so it is really, really easy to get access to a phone. I mean, from a hacker point of view, for example, if you take half of Android devices, they have known vulnerabilities, so security issues, publicly available on the internet. So I can go on the website, I can download the exploit, so the numerical weapon, point it at the direction of the phone I want to hack, press play, and that's all. But that requires some technical skills and everything. But without technical skills, because the majority of the people going to attack phones and access phones, they're going to be social engineering attacks from people who are not hackers, from your family, from your friends, from your coworkers, people who want to know something about you and they're around you physically. So that's going to be the majority of the attack. Attacks involving hackers on the phone are very low. So yeah, it is quite, for a hacker, it is quite easily to access a phone, and even with social engineering attacks.
Yes. So when you, first of all, let's be clear. When you say that it's extremely easy for someone to hack into a smartphone, easy, you're assuming that the person who's hacking into it already has very high technical skills, right?
Okay, let's differentiate. So hacking into a phone is with high technical computer skills, so from a hacker. However, accessing your phone, it's quite different because people who do that do not have high skills in computer and in hacking. However, they still manage to access it. I've seen this happen a lot of time. And these kind of attacks, which are the majority of the attack, are going to come from your friends, your family, your coworkers, your parents trying to spy on their children, these kind of things. So it's just grabbing the phone and trying to unlock it. You think this is complicated? It is really not complicated. Even as a hacker, we used to do that a lot just for fun. So grabbing the phone of the people in front of them and doing all this kind of stuff. So I used to make fun of them, to change their wallpaper and put my face in their phone in front of them without them noticing. So it's really easy to do. You got a whole range of attack. So the further away you are from what you're attacking, the complex and the more difficult the attack is. If you can touch physically your phone, it's really easy. But it's really easy to do a lot of things. For example, if you're from a distance, you're going to use an exploit, you're going to use different techniques that's more skilled and technical attacks that very few people can do. But if you can touch physically the phone, which are the majority of the attack, you can also do a lot of things. For example, once you get access to the phone, what you want to do is to maintain access to the phone. So you can install a spy device, or if you're not a hacker, if you're a normal person, they have the kind of same tools, but they just called differently. It's called parental control apps. So parental control apps behave more or less the same way as a spy tool. So a hacker is going to hack your phone from a distance. He's going to install a spy tool to gain, so he can access your phone all the time from a distance. Your friend, your coworker is going to grab your phone physically, is going to watch you unlock it and grab your password from it, and is going to install a parental control app. This is going to allow him the same thing and the same access as a hacker does at the distance. And with the parental control app, you can do more or less the same thing as a spy tool. Some parental control apps are quite good, so you will not see it on your phone. Others are quite bad, so you will actually see the app installed on your phone from the parental control company. So it depends. But in the end, the end result is the same. From a complex attack from a hacker, or from your friends trying to access your phone all the time, installing a parental control app is going to to be able to do the same thing at a distance.
Okay, before we go on, can you define what social engineering is?
All right. Social engineering is an attack based on the human nature instead of something technical. So it's just exploiting the human flow to gain access to something, some information, some password, something. And humans are the weakest link in the chain of information, so that's why they're very easy to exploit and to use to your own advantages. One of the most easy social engineering attack is just watching somebody enter your password in the device. This is really tricky because I can give you the most sophisticated and safe device or phone, but if you talk next to me, I'm going to listen everything. It's going to just remove all the safety from the devices, as much as having a password 1234 or entering your password in front of me. These are things that are outside the scope of technical security. Is protocol security, is how you use your device, which is really, really important because security is a way of using things. It's not technical. As I told you, I can give you, without knowing anything about the technology, I can give you a phone and telling you this phone is 100% secure, nobody can hack it or listen to it. But it's not going to prevent you from having somebody next to you on the train while you're talking a conversation with somebody about sensitive information, having the guy next to you listen to it. That technology cannot prevent that. That's behavior. That's why you have to know how to use technology in the safe way.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Second notion that you're talking about before we go on, it's important to define this as well. What is an exploit?
Okay, so I really try not to use this kind of word, but that's a technical word for a numerical weapon. An exploit is a numerical weapon that allows me to access some device. Basically, it is derived from a bug. So you have certain kind of bug that are exploitable. So I mean, I can use to gain access to your device on different levels. So it depends. There's a lot of categories. Some exploits only allows you to do denial of service. So it's going to, for example, to shut down your phone. Some other exploits are going to be able to gain access as a read only. So I will be able only to read what you're doing. Some other exploits are going to give me full access. So I will be able to read and write and modify stuff on your phone. So it's a complex subject. So simple way to put it is like it's a numerical weapon that allows me to gain control over your devices from a distance or locally, it depends.
Without getting too much into details, how does one get access to this numerical weapon that is an exploit?
So you have publicly available exploits, so you can go on website and download them. So for example, if you have Android, there is a lot of exploits. You can go, okay, so I want to attack Android version 4. So you go on the website and you look around for exploits for this kind of devices, and you download them, you point them at the direction of where is your device, you press play, and it's going to do the attack. It's not really complicated. You can make them. So you can analyze an application or a device and see where are the bugs and try to exploit them and to make your own exploits. Or you also have 0 days exploits, so these kind of exploits that are not publicly available. These can be found in black markets or these kind of things. These things are very good because they are not been fixed. So even if you're up to date, they will still work.
You make it sound very simple, but you do need very high technical knowledge to be able to use an exploit, right?
Yes and no. I mean, I was doing these kind of things when I was 15, so I don't think I had very good technical knowledge at this time. And you need good knowledge, good IT knowledge, yes, but it's not that extreme. It's really, really easy to hack into stuff and to find exploits. That's why you see in papers like this teenager hacked into this governmental agency or etc. because they were able to find an exploit and write an exploit and use it. However, they got caught. What is really, really hard is not to leave a trail. So being a ghost is 10 times harder than actually hacking something and exploiting it. So it's not easy, don't get me wrong. But however, not getting caught is like 10 times harder. So when you say, is it easy to find and to use exploits? Yes and no. The problem from the people actually who do this kind of thing is not getting caught, because today there is so much data, so much trail everywhere that it's really, really hard not to leave a fingerprint somewhere that leads back to you.
Okay, cool, thanks. To come back on the on what we were first mentioning about the parental control, you were saying that this is also a way to spy on someone. So my neighbor gets access to my phone. He manages to install the parental control on my phone, and this is a way for him to keep getting remote access to my phone. Concretely speaking, can you just explain what you get access to when you have your parental control installed on my phone?
That depends on the kind of parental control you use. So there's a lot of different apps, and depending on the app, it allows you to do more or less things. On the high range, is basically allows you to do everything the user can do. Plus more, plus activating the microphone, plus knowing where you are all the time, activating the camera, basically everything you can access on your phone, the parental control will be able to access it. So there is not really much difference between a parental control and a spy app. It's just the name that changes. So parental controls are used on teenagers, but they're also used as spy tool on other people.
There is no way that I can check somewhere in my phone where this app is installed. Can I not have an inventory somewhere where all the apps that I have installed on my phone are listed?
Yes, you have an inventory of all the apps you have installed, but it's supposed to be a spy app. So depending on the quality, it's not going to show up. You got high risk profile and low risk profile. So people are going to go there is few people who go into high risk profile. In general, they are like CEOs, politicians, people with high sensitive information that's worth a lot of money, famous people. So corporate espionage too, it's involved. So a lot of money. For high risk people, hackers are going to be involved nearly all of the time because there is a lot of money involved. You have the low risk people, that's the average person. So it's very rare that you're going to be hacked by a hacker. You're going to be hacked by someone close to you. What I mean hacked is social engineering attacks. And you got also, so that's the first step. So high profile risk, low profile risk. And the second thing is mass targeted attacks and personal targeted attacks. With these two kind of things, the objective is to get information out of you. Okay, and the methodology is quite different and the protection is quite different.
Thank you for watching. Next week, we'll talk more about personal targeted attacks and give you tips on how you can protect yourself from them.